Alright, so welcome back. It is now Saturday, April 8th. Easter is tomorrow. So today I'm in my kitchen. I'm actually going to be making hot cross buns from scratch. I've never done it before. I've got my recipe in front of me. So starting with my hand mixer. It says you mix all these, you just basically, I found a really easy, quick hot cross bun recipe. And you just put everything in the stand mixer. Which I'm gonna do. So you start with 1 cup of milk. Oops, I guess this is supposed to be mixing, but I'll get it mixing as soon as I start getting some of this stuff in here. So 1 cup of milk, 4.5 teaspoons of yeast. That's a tablespoon. Always double check. Well, that's a half teaspoon. See, always just double check that you're grabbing the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and half teaspoons. And half a cup of sugar. Sorry about that. 2 teaspoons of salt. I think I'm almost out of salt. So salt's something I'm going to have to purchase. You want more? 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. And I'm going to start getting this mixed in here. I need my nutmeg and cinnamon. So it's 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to use a full teaspoon of each. And the 4 eggs at room temperature. So the eggs have already been cracked and ready to go. I'm just going to give this a few minutes to mix, and then I'll be back to start adding the dry ingredients. And I'm also sifting out 5.5 cups of flour here. Almost done. This is my last cup. Off for a second. I'm going to turn this back on and just slowly add in my flour. And then I also have to add 1.5 cups of raisins. just have to pour this out. Turned it the wrong way. Then I'm going to put this into a greased glass dish. I just have to roll this into a ball. Put this in a grease glass dish, cover with plastic wrap, and leave it to rise. Put it in the fridge. I'm just trying to... No, not this one. Sometimes there's certain ones, as long as they say put in the fridge. No, this one's not in the fridge. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, so I just have to let this rise for an hour and a half. So I'll be back in an hour and a half when I'm ready to actually start to roll these out into buns. Okay, so it's been a little more than an hour and a half. Here is the dough. I'm just gonna prepare my pan. So I just need a baking sheet, well greased. Just put it in the corner. Well greased cookie sheet. And I'm just gonna add some flour on my surface here. And pour out dough. Now I have to divide this. I'm not quite sure how many buns I'll get. I think probably 24. And if raisins fall out, just push it back inside somewhere. There's this one. Half dough first. Because that's too big. I mean, that's about the size of like I would make for like a dinner bun or a hamburger bun, but these are hot cross buns, so I want them half that size. And just form them into a nice round ball. Sorry about that, I just had something kind of stuck in my throat. At least what it felt like. So again, I think make them even half that size would be good. So I want to make them about this size. As I put them on the pan, I want to put them like really close together. So I think I'm going to get about 32 buns then, if I'm doing my math right. This one's going to get cut in half again. again, just chopping these in half. Some of these look a little bit bigger than others. I don't know. That one was right. This one needs to get cut in half. I'm kind of losing track as to which ones I've cut in half and which ones I didn't cut in half. So I've got 30. So I've got 30 out of the half, so I could probably get another 30, so I'll have 60 little buns. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other one here. I'm just going to keep dividing this in half until I've got nice sized buns. This recipe didn't say how many it made. The one thing, sometimes the recipes, they don't tell you how much they make out of one recipe, so you just try to do the best you can and just make it and see how many you get. It just depends on how big or small you want your buns. Like I still say that's still quite a bit too big, so I'm going to cut all these in half again. That's a good size. Just got timers going off all day because I am doing all my prepping for Easter. This one fell apart when I set it down. So when I get all these rolled out, then I will be putting another thing of saran wrap over top and letting these rise for 1 more hour. And then I will be back in an hour when ready to actually bake these in the oven. Okay, so I've got them all rolled out. I've got 60 here, so I'm just going to place a saran wrap over top and let them rise for 1 hour, and then in 1 hour I'll come back and do an egg wash, and then I will bake them in the oven for 25 minutes at 375 degrees. So I got to start to preheat my oven very soon. But I will be back in an hour to do the egg wash. Alright, so it's been an hour, so the buns are ready for the next step. I'm just going to take plastic wrap off. I've got my oven preheated at 375 degrees. So in here I have an egg white, so I got to make an egg wash. So I've got an egg white. To this I'm adding a tablespoon of water and a little bit of salt. I'm just going to make sure this is the salt. Yeah, that's the salt. Just need a little pinch of salt. Whisk this together. And then just brush this over the buns. So I got 60 buns from this recipe. Mine are kind of varying sizes and a few interesting shapes, the way they've kind of puffed out here. First time I just go over quickly with the egg wash just to make sure I can get every single one has some. And then I will just drizzle more egg wash over where I think I missed a few spots. Usually when I make an egg wash, I use the whole egg, but this recipe just says to use just the egg white. So I don't know if that makes any difference when making an egg wash, if you use the whole egg or just the egg white. I think that's good. They all seem to have lots of this egg wash on. The next step is to scissor cut each of these, so to make like a cross. So I've got my scissors, I just washed them off. So just do a snip that way, and a snip that way. So I think I'm just gonna go all the way down this row. Oops. Easier to do it this way. And then I'll flip the pan the other way and cut the other way. And I guess you could probably do this with a pair of knives as well. Turn the pan this way and snip every single one of them the other direction. So kind of like you get a cross on each of the buns. Now my raisins I had are extra big. I had smaller raisins, but I just couldn't find them. All I could find the smaller ones were just the blueberries and cranberries. So I went with these extra fat raisins tonight, or today, I guess, whatever. It's now evening. Been working on this all day, baking and stuff. There we go. I went both ways on that one. So now I've got those all done. So now I'm just gonna bake these in the oven for 25 minutes. So I will be back in 25 minutes. Okay, welcome back. I'm just gonna move my camera back down. So hot cross buns are out of the oven. This is what they look like. They just came out about 2 minutes ago. I am out of icing sugar, so I can't make the icing that you're supposed to for this. So the icing I was gonna make, it's 2 cups of icing sugar, a tablespoon of milk, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then you pipe it across to get the cross on the buns. I'm out of icing sugar, but I do have these. This is a vanilla buttercream, so it's your cupcakes, and it comes with pouches of frosting. So I'm just gonna need this frosting. It might be a little thicker, but it comes with 2 pouches, and I actually have 2 boxes of this. So I actually have 4 pouches of this icing. So I'm going to just cut this bag into a little point. Cut my scissors. Oh, my scissors are washed because I had used them to cut the buns. So I'll just be back in 1 second. Okay, so I've got my scissors. I'm just gonna see if this will work. Snip into this corner right here. So you get a nice little point. Well, that might be too thick. You know, I'm gonna actually grab a piping bag and a piping tip and put this in a piping bag, and I can get a much thinner, even line. Alright, so I've got my piping bag, and I've got most of my little tips here. I'm just trying to find a really, really small one. Just want a very small tip. I don't know what size these tips are. They usually have a number on them. These are these cheap plastic ones from the dollar store. Sometimes they don't have. Just let it down as far as I can and just snip off right there. Just roll this bag down a bit. I'm just going to grab a coffee mug because that's what I've got right behind me. Now I'm just going to open this up a little more. Pour this icing into the piping bag. Go. And just do a nice thin line right across. All of them. Just trying to get my rows kind of even. Like that. And then I'll flip my tray this way. And then do it the other way across. Oops. Wouldn't let go. Two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Almost finished. Just want to make sure I was getting the right rows. I think I've got enough icing to do just 2 more rows now. And the last row. Fix this. I've got some extra icing, so anywhere where I think my rows could be a little longer, I'm just going to add a little bit of icing. Just kind of join those together. So some of my rows are a little crooked. There you go. I've got a nice tray of 60 hot cross buns. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's watching my videos and subscribing to my channels, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.